Now at 10 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, we have an update on the shooting at the Goat nightclub Sunday morning.
A Lockhart school teacher is running for U.S. Congress District 27 against Michael Cloud.
And the city of Victoria planning to spend millions of dollars in street repairs this year.
We're looking for another day of low-level cloud cover like we had today, but we'll get up to the 60s. The thing is, by the time we get to Friday, that storm out there on the west coast will be visiting our door. In fact, I'm looking for heavy rain on Friday. We'll be talking more about that coming up in a moment.
A local softball star has committed to hit the diamond at the next level. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
An Amber Alert has been cleared tonight for 13-year-old Carly Smart. Angleton police told KTRK they suspect her initial disappearance was a runaway incident. She has been located, but no other details have been released.
On New Year's Eve at about 3:30 a.m., VPD officers responded to a disturbance call at the Goat nightclub located at 4106 Houston Highway. While officers were investigating the call, gunfire came from a vehicle as it was leaving the parking lot, which led to this incident becoming an officer-involved shooting. The DPS says 2 people were shot, 1 man, 1 woman. They're going to be okay, and the Texas Rangers are investigating exactly how the officer-involved shooting happened.
Tanya Lloyd announced today she is running for the 27th U.S. Congressional District versus incumbent Michael Cloud. Lloyd, a school teacher for 17 years in Lockhart, said she is a lifelong Republican voter, but that she is running as a Democrat. Lloyd says she is running to address the economic challenges of District 27, including the pressing challenges of rural health care, and to stand up for her students and their families. The last day to register to vote in the City of Victoria mayor election is tomorrow, January 4th. The first day for in-person early voting is January 17th.
And the last day to receive an application for ballot by mail is January 23rd. The last day for early voting is January 30th. And once again, Election Day is set for Saturday, February 3rd.
The City of Victoria plans to spend a record-breaking $30 million to repair 20 miles of streets this fiscal year. Repairing Crestwood Drive between Ben Jordan and Navarro Streets was finished last February. The final phase of the $15 million Crestwood Drive project between Ben Jordan and Main Street is about 90% complete. The project is expected to finish in August. Street repairs are also continuing in 5 other areas. The City of Victoria's overall goal is repairing 112 miles of streets through the 2026 fiscal year.
Just before 9 p.m. Tuesday, police arrested a driver accused of DWI. It happened on US 77 Frontage Road. Officers say the woman hit a road sign. No one was hurt, but there was some damage to the vehicle. Now, starting next Monday, FM 1686 will be closed between Johnson Road and Raven Road. TxDOT reports the closure will be for 30 days while a bridge is replaced.
Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, the rain has stopped, but the cold sure hasn't.
No, as a matter of fact, it's going to stay on the cool, cloudy, damp side. Next week's going to get even colder, but in the short term, you're here and the rain is there. And that rain will be rolling through here on Friday, so we'll be talking about that West Coast storm when it gets here and how much rain we can expect out of it. All that coming up in just a moment. Doc, back to you.
Mac, thank you. As the surge at the border continues and House GOP leaders are holding talks on how to address the incoming flux of migrants.
Yeah, one migrant arriving at a border city shares his experience.
It's the dinner rush at Sacred Heart Church. Dozens of people wait outside, hoping to get inside for a warm meal. Little kids cry for their mothers as they too wait for some food. The number of children and families, though, noticeably smaller today than in previous weeks and months. This video here taking us back to May when Title 42 was days away from its expiration date. You'll see crowds of what appear to be families making themselves at home on the streets. You can also see those temporary encampments and sleeping arrangements in what looked like a makeshift migrant community. Today, you'll notice there are no tents. The majority of people we saw were coming and going in smaller groups.
De Venezuela.
And they were single men like Victor here from Venezuela.
Hace 5 días.
He's been in El Paso 5 days and is headed to Denver. That's one of the so-called sanctuary cities migrants are being bused to in large numbers. City leaders there are pleading for help, saying they're not prepared for the crowds. But people like Victor say that won't stop them from trying to make a life there.
Sí, realmente lo escuché, inclusive supe la información de que
He says he's aware Denver, as well as New York and Chicago, are saturated with migrants, but he's still in search of opportunity and work, with no plan B on deck in the case those opportunities don't come up.
no, estoy solo acá en Estados Unidos, sí.
Saying he has no family or friends in the United States, he came here alone.
Other migrants said they want to go to New York and Chicago, whether it's crowded or not, whether they have a place to sleep or not. They said they're getting on whatever bus they can in hopes of finding work. And House Republicans have started the impeachment process against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Since retaking the House majority, Republicans have long sought to impeach Mayorkas over his handling of immigration at the southern border. Mayorkas has downplayed concerns about an impeachment in an interview today, but he advocated strongly for funding for border security. He was asked about GOP lawmakers' visit to the southern border just today.
When they're at the border, they're going to see the magnitude of the problem and why we have said now for about 3 decades that our broken immigration system is in desperate need of legislative reform. So we are focused on solutions, and we hope that they will return to Washington and focus on the solutions as well.
A spokesperson for the Homeland Security Committee says the impeachment hearings will begin next week. Leading us to your viewer poll tonight, you can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, how satisfied are you with Secretary Mayorkas' performance in addressing immigration? According to our results, it looks like very dissatisfied stands with the highest percentage at 75%.
Thank you for voting tonight. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. Tensions continue to rise in the Middle East. Iran state TV reported 2 explosions in the city of Kerman. Those explosions coming on the death anniversary of the head of one of Iran's elite forces killed by a U.S. drone strike.
This comes as Israel is being blamed for killing one of Hamas's top leaders.
Tensions are heating up in the Middle East after 2 explosions in the Irani city of Kerman. The victims attending a memorial for top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, killed in a U.S. airstrike 4 years ago today. More than 100 people killed in today's blasts. No one has claimed responsibility.
I don't have any great detail on who was responsible, but can you rule out that Israel had anything to do with this?
We have no indication at this time at all that Israel was involved in any way whatsoever.
The bombings in Iran coming one day after a top Hamas leader was killed in an explosion in Lebanon. Lebanese officials say an Israeli drone strike targeted Saleh al-Alroui, Hamas's deputy commander. Israel has not said if they're responsible for entering and bombing a country that they are not at war with.
Israel has not taken responsibility. And whoever did this, it's not an attack on the Lebanese state. It's not an attack on the Hezbollah terrorist organization. Whoever did this, it's an attack on Hamas. That's very clear.
But it's not clear to everyone. Since October 7th, the IDF and Hezbollah soldiers have repeatedly exchanged fire near the Israeli and Lebanese border. Hezbollah is often seen as supporting Hamas, but far more powerful. The U.S. saying it will continue to help Israel in the war and also with humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza, plus trying to protect commerce in the Red Sea, which has also come under attack from another terrorist group, Houthi rebels. And in another sign of U.S. involvement, Secretary of State Blinken will travel to the region again tomorrow. Meanwhile, over 22,000 people are dead in Gaza. A few hours ago, a strike left 3 people dead and multiple injured. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. Police arrested one man for public intoxication after they found a vehicle submerged near the 6 Mile community boat ramp. Plus, Memorial Medical Center CEO has outlined a new multi-approach profitability plan designed to refocus the hospital's efforts to save money. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. You can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. How about that? And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. A judge has denied a request for a change of venue for one Memphis resident accused of rape.
Also ahead, police in Virginia ordered a woman to stop digging a tunnel underneath her home. Judge denied requests for a change of venue today, ruling that a Memphis man will stand trial for rape in Shelby County. Keilotha Henderson is accused of kidnapping and raping Alicia Franklin in September of 2021. Attorneys submitted a motion to have the trial in another county last year, arguing the case had too much publicity and feared the jury selected would not be impartial. Today, a Shelby County judge denied that motion. Henderson also faces a charge for the death of Eliza Fletcher, who was also kidnapped during an early morning run and then killed.
I think you have to try, because you can't, again, just roll over. You just try, keep trying, and maybe we'll catch a break.
Henderson's trial for rape and kidnapping charges will begin on April 8th. A trial date for the charges Henderson faces for the death of Eliza Fletcher has not been scheduled yet.
The TSA screened more than 32.1 million passengers at airports nationwide over the holidays. That's more than the 30 million people screened during the Thanksgiving holiday period. During that time, the TSA saw a record-breaking 2.9 million passengers at checkpoint in a single day on November 26th. The TSA has not said what day was the busiest day of this year-end holiday period, but predicted it would be Thursday, December 1st, Friday the 29th, or Monday, January 1st, New Year's Day, with an expected 2.5 million passengers to be screened each day. A woman in Northern Virginia amassed a social media following while documenting the process of building an underground shelter.
Yeah, but police have ordered her, known as Tunnel Girl, to stop digging underneath her home.
Kala the Science Girl.
She calls herself Kala the Science Girl on her TikTok account, where she currently has more than 500,000 followers.
It's just been over a year since I started building my underground tunnel system.
Her most popular videos garnering millions of views.
I'm planning to construct a storm shelter off the side of my basement.
Building an underground tunnel under her home in Northern Virginia, a journey she began in 2022.
We sure are making a mess.
But last month, she hit a rough patch.
Good morning.
She posted this video saying complaints were made to officials where she lives, and they gave her a stop work order.
They did give me a stop work order and are requiring an immediate evaluation by a professional engineer.
We confirmed with local officials that zoning and building representatives conducted a site inspection on December 7th and that they're working with the owner to correct any violations and ensure the property is safe and in compliance with code. Tuesday night, we stopped by her home. She told me she can't comment on what's happening. She did, though, give us permission to share her videos, but asked us not to disclose exactly where she lives. Some have posted to social media that it's dangerous not only for her, but her neighbors.
It's definitely a first.
David lives across from her home. He says she and some other people moved into the home a couple of years ago.
Kind of gets concerning how throughout the day or the weekday that goes by, there's a lot of noise being made, but nothing that would really truly bother us to call the authorities in any way.
As for Kala, which by the way is not her real name, she believes that there is light at the end of the tunnel and that the permitting will get approved for her to continue. We will of course stay on top of this and keep you posted as it all unfolds. I'm Katie Lasso, back to you.
U-Haul says more people moved to Texas than any other state in 2023. It's the third year in a row the Lone Star State topped U-Haul's Growth Index report. Each year, U-Haul calculates the number of one-way trips of its trucks to and from each state. Texas had a net gain of about 174,000 people in 2023. At the bottom, California. The report does not account for other rental companies or when people hire a moving company. U-Haul says the report does not correlate directly to population or economic growth.
Here's a look at some of the top headlines you'll find in the Cuero Record. The Cuero Community Foundation adds 2 board members, Rebecca Dawson and Wes Kubesh. And the Cuero High School class of 1962 gets together to enjoy the Cuero lights during the holidays. Read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. The cloud deck is still on top of us, but we didn't get anything in rain, maybe a little drop or a mist. We're at 49 degrees right about now. Our high today only got up to 52, but for the next couple of days, we should start pushing into the 60s. The thing is, Friday looks like a big rain day. We'll have more on that coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. We had a lot of cloud cover over the area, hardly a drop of rain today, but that's okay. We're getting ready for that to come in on Friday. Tomorrow we'll be again on the overcast skies. That's because we have all this moisture that rolled into the area, and of course the rain ended, but now all we have is the upper level moisture sticking around. Now on the west coast, there you see it. That's our next big system. This is already moving into Nevada, dropping through Arizona. You can see how the rain is starting moving into New Mexico. That is coming to your door on Friday, and that's why we're watching it very carefully. Now, we asked Future Tracker, okay, how much rain in the future? So it goes all the way to Sunday and Monday, as you see right about there. And for Victoria, we've got a good, if it's in blue, it's over an inch. So we're looking for a solid rain on Friday and Monday that may be giving us a good inch of rain, if not more. So here's Future Tracker. We start off Thursday morning, and you can see by afternoon the rain starts moving in far west Texas. We see that by Friday night it rolls through here, and the good news is that by Saturday it pulls through. So it's going to be here all day Friday, and then it pulls away. And so your Saturday and your Sunday are going to be pretty good when that storm becomes a big snowmaker for up there. Now, in the short term, there is going to be some problems with winter weather up in North Texas. You can see, let's see, okay, here's Dallas, here's Amarillo, here's Lubbock. You can see how they put winter advisories all the way down into Midland. So when this goes through tomorrow night, Thursday night, they're going to have some icy problems out there. If you happen to be driving and got family out there, you need to consider that. But as we get that system through our area, it's just going to be all rain, not to worry about it. Won't be that cold when it gets here. Overnight, we'll get down to mid-40s. Tomorrow, we're looking at around 60 degrees pretty much everywhere. It's about where we were today. Now, for those of you in Port Lavaca, we start off at 48 in the morning, get up to 62 in the afternoon, but you're not going to see a whole lot of sunshine. As a matter of fact, the northeast wind that we had today is going to turn around and become a southeast wind. That's why it's going to pile up the moisture over the area. 44 the low in Cuero, getting up to 61 as well. Again, a northeast wind becomes a southeast wind, and so we're on the cloudy side. So let's go through the next 7 days. Well, we've got a pretty good looking Thursday, overcast and cool, but late in the evening, probably sundown, we'll get a 20% chance. The bulk of the activity will move through on Friday afternoon, and that's when I expect it to be the rainiest, a good ½ inch right here. Good news, Saturday, Sunday clears up very nicely. Okay, not completely slow, but it'll be in the 60s. And then the second front comes through on Monday. This one is going to bring us some colder weather. By the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, I do believe will be our highs in the 50s and overnight lows getting down into the 30s. So it's going to be the need for the heavier coat comes in next week. Otherwise, that's your 7-day forecast. Thanks. We want to remind everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. And now here's Zach with your sports.
We will have some local scores, and the Pro Bowl selections are out. I'll have that in sports. The Houston Texans game has been upgraded to a nationally televised game this Saturday at 7 p.m. and it's going to be right here on KAVU. And why nationally televised, you might ask? Well, it's only one of, if not the biggest game of the week in the NFL. If the Texans win, they are in the postseason. If the Colts win, they are in. The division is still at play for both teams. In addition to being guaranteed a wild card spot if you win this one, if the Jags are to lose Sunday, that team will win the AFC South. And I've said all year the Texans will win the division, so it all comes down to this. And while that game may be huge, the leader of the Texans, C.J. Stroud, is trying to make sure they keep their poise. And the Texans only have one starter named to the Pro Bowl. That's left tackle Laramie Tunsil. But the Dallas Cowboys, they got a bunch. Dak Prescott, you got the guard Zach Martin, and Oklahoma Sooner great CeeDee Lamb gets the nod from the Cowboys offense. Deron Bland voted in as well. And of course, Micah Parsons was going to make it, and some special teamers, former Houston Texan and obviously the current Cowboy Brian Anger gets in as the punter. And the Cowboys have found themselves quite the kicker this year in Brandon Aubrey. He's 35 for 35 on field goals this year. The record for most in a year without a miss is 37 in 2003. Out in Cuero, we have yet another star athlete committing to college, and that is softball star Abigail Aguilar. She put the pen to paper earlier this afternoon to make her commitment official to the Coastal Bend Cougars, and she did it in front of a room full of coaches, friends, and family. Softball season hasn't even begun yet, but she's already seeing success. She thanked everyone for coming out. The Lady Gobblers are the reigning district champions, so they hope to have a great follow-up year. The Refugio Bobcats basketball game came down to the wire, and they used a big shot from one of their big leaders, tied at just 62 with just seconds remaining. The layup would not go, so they're going to put the ball in the hands of Keelan Brown, who's got two men draped all over him, but he's got to get a shot up, and he's going to get it up at the horn. They get the win. 64-62 over Woodsboro. Brown had 38 points in that game. The Victoria West Warriors had a showdown on the road against the Flower Bluff Hornets. That game did not end well, but Bluff is a great program. The West Warriors now have their eyes set on their next opponent, the Victoria East Titans. That game will be at Victoria East. Some district action. The Hallettsville ladies traveled to Yoakum and handed the Bulldogs an L in their gym. Final score 43-25. Hallettsville fresh off their holiday hoops tourney. They continue to roll. They are now 3-1 in district play. Scary scene in Miami. The house of star wideout Tyreek Hill caught in flames. And it's being said that this happened while Hill was at practices, and Hill, who was wearing a boot because of an injury, left practice immediately, and everyone reportedly got out of the house safely. The house is valued at nearly $6 million. The fire was eventually extinguished with no injuries. Other NFL news, Panthers owner David Tepper threw a drink at a Cowboys fan this past Sunday. He's been fined $300,000 for his actions. That's it for your sports. Dawn and Karina, back to you.
Zach, thank you so much, and stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your weather. Plus, we say goodbye to our meteorologist, Howie Gordon.
Bitcoin company Riot made $32 million last August by reducing electricity usage. But advocates want to know why all residents cannot benefit in the same way. You can read the full story by the Texas Tribune on our crossroadstoday.com website. First Warning Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis is here for your last look. It's a chilly one.
It's a chilly, no problem. Yes, tomorrow, not a bad looking day. Overcast, yes, 62 the high, so it'll be on the cool side. But it's Friday when a good frontal system brings us some much needed rainfall around here. And the better news is that it clears us up just in time for the weekend. So that's going to be good. But now we go to a sad chapter in 25 News Now. I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, I really don't know what we're going to do, Howie. Your presence in the newsroom is going to be like a big hole.
Yes. Well, we are saying goodbye tonight to meteorologist and reporter and producer.
Raconteur.
And
Morning Show Iron Man. What'd you call me? Morning Show Iron Man?
Well, that too. Howie Gordon has been an expert on weather. He's been an expert on news, and particularly an expert on the 1985 Chicago Bears.
Hope so. I watched the Super Bowl the other day.
You know, he was also a Big Brother star, and he's been a big brother to a lot of people in our newsroom.
Yeah, that's
Mac,
true.
as a fellow meteorologist.
That's true. You know, he is a big brother to a lot of people in the newsroom, and you know, we're going to miss you. And we know that you're here because we can hear your voice across the hallway.
Oh yeah, every day.
That's why they closed the wall, because they're during Don's broadcast.
He's a big personality. Big personality.
Yeah, in case you haven't noticed.
But no, I had a great time here, as you mentioned. Had a lot of skill sets tested out here, from production to anchor to weather guy, breaking news. I had a lot of fun. The viewers here in Victoria, absolutely amazing. Rosalie, she mails me a card for every single holiday. I'll miss you, Rosalie. If I miss any of you, I apologize. At the gym all the time, working out, talking weather, having fun. The mall, everywhere, viewers are always reaching out, saying they enjoyed Channel 25 News Now. Always very positive. So it's such a great, such a great place to experience weather, hurricane coverage out here.
Yeah.
Here we are in the middle of winter. You're having 75-degree days. Yeah. You can't beat that. I had a lot of fun out here. Met a lot of great people. I really got along with just about every single person here. Mm-hmm. Everyone, I learned something from I took something from everyone here. I learned a lot from the great Don Brubaker. It should be on CNN or doing the weather in Mars, or everyone else, or doing news in Mars. Mac learned a great deal from him in the last year with weather. Karina, I mean, 2 weeks into it, this girl's ready for big time anchoring.
Hey, Howie, Karina's got some thoughts here for you.
Oh, I don't know. You can't put me on the spot like that, but I mean, it's just what Max says. You are a big brother to everyone here in this newsroom. If you guys don't know, Howie really loves his popcorn. And I'm going to miss the smell of burnt popcorn.
Yeah.
I think I am.
Yeah.
Every time I smell burnt popcorn, I'm going to think of Howie, probably for the rest of my life.
Well, as Don always said, Howie has popcorn, will burn.
Yeah, that is true.
We know you're moving on. We're proud of you. He's moving on to a good place, so we're very happy for him, and we're glad to have you, glad to know you. But we're not saying goodbye. We're just saying see you later, bro.
Later.
Because, you know, in this business, we all run into each other.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Hate to see you go, but thank you for being a great teammate and a great friend.
Thanks, Karina. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Mac. Thanks, everyone here at Channel 25. Trey, Zach, Gino, where are you? Wherever you are. Tanya, you left us. Haley Wood out there, everybody else. Adam's off today. Had a great time, guys.
Good night, everybody.